Pali, just a quick question. So, did you were you able to go through the videos?
Yeah, the third one video I have gone through it. The Anaplan's review. I mean, Anaplan tool review is there now, so I have gone through it.
So all good? Like any questions?
No, as of now.
Okay. And have you gone through that basic building blocks where we discussed basic
Yeah,
building blocks of Anaplan?
yeah, the integration and I mean that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, SAP integration and the Anaplan and block. Yeah, I've gone through it.
Okay. So, we are going to be continuing from the other topics. Okay. What
Mm-hmm.
you can do is like just go through that third and fourth video once again. Okay, if you get time. I mean, since you haven't gone, right? Gone through
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Go through that videos, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, in today's session, uh, even if we start from the other topics, it will not be correlated with the one which is there in third and fourth. So go through that, and still, if you will face issues, we can discuss that separately. Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Okay. So before we start, like any questions, Lou, any questions from your end?
Um, I no, I don't have any questions. Well, I actually I do. So I was given a folder. Should I be looking at that folder daily?
So that's like nothing but this our session recording. That's it.
Oh, it's just session recording. Okay, there's no exercises or anything like that to
No,
do
no,
in
no,
there
no,
yet.
no. Those are just session recordings, just for the sake of, if you miss out anything during the session, or maybe, you want to follow the sessions once again, that's the whole purpose why it's there.
Okay, all right.
All right. So today we're going to be starting off with list dimension. Okay. And Rupal, just a quick little intro regarding these basic building blocks of Anaplan and as well. So what happens into Anaplan? Like whatever information which you have, that has to be first flown through something called central library. So like for instance, if I give a statement like, I want to see the forecasted sales on the basis of products by geography, and this forecasting needs to be done on the basis of past 3 years data. So whatever data which I have, the likes of products, the likes of geography, the likes of past 3 years data, all these datas are nothing but probably these are sets of data sets and anything related with time and everything. So whatever data which you can feel, okay, whatever you have, that has to go through the central library, and once it goes through that, then there has to be done some sort of calculation over that data sets, and once the calculation is done, that has to be displayed to the end user on the dashboard of the UX. So what we are going to be going through in today's session, we are going to be going through you know different type of data sets which are there and how that could be accommodated into Anaplan, and where it has to be accommodated into the central library. Okay, so we are going to be discussing about lists, and list is nothing but it's a place where the different data sets could be accommodated. I'll just quickly share my screen and we'll get started.
Okay.
Mhm. So we haven't discussed list, right? Uh, Leo, this question for you. We haven't discussed the list, correct? Before?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. List.
no hierarchy, nothing yet. That has to be discussed. The other day we discussed only about time dimensions, right?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. All right, so the course objective for this module is by the end of this course, you will be knowing a list and its type, the hierarchy list, the flat list, numbered list, and the subset. Okay, so this entire module will take around two couple of sessions to be completed. Okay, let's see how it goes. All right, so we have that functional guide together today in front of us once again. That is Joseph. So he says, like, thanks a lot for showing me how to configure the time dimension into the tool. Can you show me where will you be putting in product geography and sales history data in Anaplan? So since these are much related with the datas, and we already know that in Anaplan, the data sets are to be accommodated in something that is called lists. So if I just see what lists are, so these are nothing, but these are data sets which are used to group related items. What are lists? Lists are data sets which are used to group related items. Now, since list is related with the data sets, and since this is a planning and modeling tool, just imagine, there will be different vast amount of data which you may encounter, and you need to put in the entire different varieties of data into Anaplan. Okay, now if you have situations like that, and you have different varieties of data to be kept into Anaplan, so there needs to be different ways or different types of lists as well, so that different varieties of data could be accommodated. So summarizing in a nutshell, bottom line, since there are different varieties of data, so there should be different types of list as well to maybe accommodate those data. Okay, so with that said, let's see what are list and what are its different types. So we have a type of list that is a hierarchy list, another list, flat list, numbered list, subset, pick list. So what are all these lists? So different lists have a specifically different purpose, and what we are going to be doing or learning in our session, these lists one by one we'll discuss, and then we will see them practically as well onto the tool, how that has to be like created, because these different type of lists will solve different purpose of accommodating these data. So we are going to be understanding everything in much more granular level. So to start off with, we are going to be taking our hierarchy list for our initial discussion. So we are going to be understanding what hierarchy list is all about. So the idea will be more like, one by one we will discuss different type of list. So suppose I start off with hierarchy list now. So we'll discuss about hierarchy list. Then we will go through, the exercises of hierarchy list. We'll see how it has to be created. And then once done with hierarchy, then we are going to be moving to any other type of list. All right. So there she goes. So what is a hierarchy list? So it's more like, composite hierarchies contain multiple lists that each roll up to a parent list. Now, let me tell you an example of hierarchy list. Things will become pretty clear post that as well, I believe. So, if I tell you in a simple term what hierarchy list could possibly be, imagine a scenario, okay, or imagine a data set or combination of data where you have the datas in an hierarchical form. So, what does that mean? Suppose, for an instance, you think an example of any organization. Let's take an example of XYZ organization, whose example or whose inventory planning we discussed into our first session. So what do you need to do over there? You had different geographies, you have different products. You had different geographies, you had different products over there. Now, imagine the scenario, the terms of geographies. So what happens? So if there are different geographies, so ideally in geography, imagine or visualize that XYZ organization is, maybe manufacturing its product in two regions of world, that is APAC and EMEA, Asia Pacific and Europe region. So if it manufactures the product in two regions, that is APAC and EMEA, so pretty much it will manufacture the product into few different countries of these region, right? So maybe it manufactures the product in UK, Germany, France, then India, China, Japan, Sri Lanka. So maybe these are the countries where the products are getting manufactured. And even if I just go to a level granular, there could be different states where these products are manufactured once again. For the likes of, there could be London, there could be Paris, there could be Darmstadt, Hesse, Karnataka, Wuhan, Beijing, Colombo. So these are, different states which we are just discussing right now. So if you think in a term and, just combine a little and try to understand or correlate the stuffs here, we started from a region, we went level granular, that is, the country, then we further went granular, that is to your states. And then we just saw that how the locations of XYZ organization could be vastly distributed at different granularities. So you have the data at region, you have the data as country, you have the data sets at states, right? If you want to go further granular, there could be districts, sub-districts, and all that, blocks, sections, whatever you want to say. So the single type of data, that is your geography, is divided into so many different granularities. And further, if you see, there is obviously, or there could be some sort of relation which could be built among these different data sets around, right? So there could be another example of hierarchy if I tell you, maybe the product data. So for instance, let's imagine like that organization was manufacturing certain products. So there could be different types of products, there could be different categories of products. What the categories could be, let me tell you. For an example, the category could be edibles, beverages, there could be daily care products, and under these three categories there could be further child of these three categories. For example, you have rice, wheat, noodles, they fall under maybe edibles. Daily care, you have soap, shampoo, which detergents which may fall under daily care products. Then you have beverages, maybe tea, coffee, soft drinks, these are under the category of your beverages. So what do you see? Again, there's a parent-child relationship. Obviously, the category is the parent, and the product type, the product unit which we are discussing, that will roll under the product category. So what happens? We have again a parent-child relationship. If you think of employees department and employee in any organization, maybe there are different wings, or there are different areas of an organization, maybe the operations, technology, consulting, strategy. So again, these are four different areas, functions, and then there could be list of different employees which fall under these different categories once again. So what happens? You have these categories, you have again the list of employees falling under these category, right? So again,
Right.
these are pretty much different examples of different hierarchies, and you can very well correlate and just see how the different set of data sets could be arranged under the underlying hierarchies in this fashion as such if required. Okay, so let's take a quick look. in our example, and it shows like region, country, and state for location. So that's what we discussed as well. So you have different regions, you have different country, you have different states as well. This is just an example of hierarchy which we are just trying to show over here, which we are just trying to discuss. And what we're going to be doing now is we'll just log into the tool, and we will see how these hierarchies could be built into the Anaplan as such. All right, so let me just quickly log into my workspace, and we'll get started for the day. By the way, just a quick thing, Rupali. So how it goes, like there's a learning.anaplan.com platform. I'm not sure, like, have you raised an access there?
Yeah, we need to sign the document and send out, right?
Yeah. So you know that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yesterday I have done it. So I mean, I have not received any email.
Yeah,
So it
it
will
will take
take time.
it will take some time. It will take around
Okay,
48 hours or something.
okay, okay.
And have you created your account on learning.anaplan.com?
Uh,
My um, Maya Rupali.
No, both. That's the questions for both.
I did on learning, but on Anaplan.com, that's still pending. I'm still waiting for that one. I did email them. They said it's coming soon.
Okay.
But I've been able to go in learning at learning.anaplan.com. I've been able to do that. Just watching videos mainly because I can't get into
Mm-hmm.
that platform yet.
Okay. No worries.
Hopefully,
We'll get.
hopefully soon. Hopefully tomorrow.
Yep. Okay. In case if you don't get by tomorrow, I'll share the our internal workspace with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. All right. So let me quickly share my screen and let's get started. So this is the model. I think L1MJX is the one which we are using. Sorry,
Bless you,
guys.
bless you.
Sorry. All right. So not this one. I think we are using this one, MJ. All right. So this is our model which we are using. So the other day, Liu, so we discussed, about this time dimensions, right? We just went through that, different configurations over there. I believe you don't have any other questions here.
I don't.
Okay. Rupali, so have you gone through the video for this? No, right? Not yet.
Abhishek, I'm not able to see your screen.
My bad. I haven't shared my screen yet. Just let me share. All right. So you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so the other day we have this is our Anaplan workspace, how it looks like, and the other day we have discussed about the configurations related with time. Okay, so did you got chance to go through that video for the time one?
Yeah,
Okay, so you know all this, right? I mean, different calendar types and all that.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So today we are gonna be just moving on with our another dimension, and probably that is nothing but your list, and possibly like I mentioned before, these lists are nothing but data sets. So our product, our geography list, that has to be accommodated under these general list section. Let's take an example, and we'll just try to bring or build one normal list at this point of time. So the idea right now is to just create a list. The idea is not to create a hierarchical list right now, guys. So we are just creating a simple list at this point of time. Let's start creating that. So you need to come up here, probably first, second, third option, right? So if I come and click here, this third option, that is general list option, then I see an option of insert. I click on insert, and maybe I'll just let's take an example of that list, region list. Okay, so I just name it like G1 region. and it's asking me where you want to put it, like before organization or after. So I just put it like after organization. So my G1 region list is over here. Now what organization list is, let me tell you. So organization list is nothing, but it's more like a by default list which already exists into Anaplan. Okay, so you don't have anything as such, which you are creating. It's gonna be a by default list which will be already existing in Anaplan, so we don't pay much attention to this, and we are not much bothered about this organization list. We start our creation from a different type of list, a different new list, and that is nothing but your G1 region, which we are just creating right now. So how to do that? So we clicked on insert, and now one list is just created, and we have just created that, and that is G1 region. Now, once you create the G1 region list, obviously, you need to add in the members in these lists as well. So, a G1 region list is created. Now, adding in the members over here. So, if I just see how to add in the members, over here I see an insert option. Over here, I see an insert option. Now, what you need to do is click on this insert. And
Okay.
then you need to add in the members. So maybe we have APAC. So it's asking you insert into G1 region one per line. So you have an APAC, you have an EMEA, then you have just added in the members. And what you need to do now is, ideally, if you see, your list has just got created. You have just created one G1 region list, and you have added in the members. So how to read that? If I just see, okay, in my general list section, there is one list that is a general list, that is a G1 region. Okay, fine. I click on this G1 region, open that. I see different members under this list, probably the APAC and the EMEA. All right, so I get an idea like, okay, there is a region list. What does that mean? There are regions where this organization, or for which I am doing the planning, operates. And what are those regions? Those are nothing but probably the APAC and the EMEAs. So I just see that. Further, what I need to do is, I have another two different type of list, and that is your G2 country and G3 states. So I need to add in a country and a state data as well. So I'll just write down the G2 country, then I have the states, and probably I want it after G1 region, these two lists. Then you have the G2 country over here, and then again, the similar exercise, you need to insert some members in the G2 country. Probably those members could be India, China, Sri Lanka. Just adding in some, random members here.
Abhishek, we can add, we can import data here also, right? From Excel. If we have large amount of sheet, then we can import as well, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll cover that as well.
Okay.
Currently we are doing this manually. Later we have a session as well for this importing and all. So in
Okay.
those sessions, obviously we're going to be discussing this area. But yeah, to answer your question, can we do this insert by an Excel? Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
large data sets, if it's there, probably you need an Excel, and that's how you're going to be uploading into our Anaplan, and the
Mhm.
list will be acting as a member. But at this point of time, since it's initial, we're just trying to see and understand how things are going to be done manually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I added in some G2 countries here. All right, so G2 countries are added. That's fine. All I need to do next, I need to add in maybe another list that is G3 states. Okay, so G3 state is already there. I will just open that and maybe I'll add in some members. So what are these members? Let me just add in randomly maybe. So these are nothing but different states where that XYZ organization is operating upon.
Oh, it knows you have a duplicate. That's so smart.
All right, so we see an error, duplicate items Colombo. So what does that mean is our conclusion. There can't be duplicates into Anaplan list. What does that mean? You can't have multiple states with the same name. You can't have multiple countries with the same name. You can't have multiple regions with the same name. You can't insert that. Your Anaplan will probably not be able to accommodate this and you will get an error. We just saw that. So I'm just going to be removing one Colombo from here. And I think, the data are quite good now and it's got loaded. So in general, if I just think of what I have with me, so I have a region list, I have a country list, and I have a state list. So these are three independent lists currently. Functionally, we may think like they are maybe having a parent-child hierarchies and all that, but if you just think in a from a technical aspect of Anaplan, you haven't defined any configuration as such till now, which marks like state is parent, sorry, state is child of country and country is a child of region, or region is parent of country and country is parent of state. We haven't done that activity yet, right? We just created three different lists. That's it. So ideally, as part of your hierarchy creation, what you need to do is you need to define in the parents of each and every list. So what is the parent of state? It's country, right? So we're going to be just moving to this G3 states, and how we're going to be defining in the parents is by going under a configure option. All right, so before that, we see different tabs here: grid view, properties, subsets, configure. We'll explore each one by one. Okay, we'll just understand the meaning of as well different type of tabs, what are they possibly used for. But just moving on, currently we are going to be concentrating on the configure options. And what this configure is, so any type of configuration which you have to define at the entire list level, any type of configuration which you have to define at the entire list level will be done under the configure option, which is out here under your G3 states. So I click on the configure, and then I have some option like parent hierarchy. I click on this parent hierarchy and I define the parent hierarchy of G3 states. So what's that? I selected from the drop down the G2 country, and then I click on apply. Similarly, I have to do it the same for G2 country as well, right? I'll go to the configure, I'll define in the parents. What's that? G1 region. And do I have any parent of G1 region? No, right?
No.
All right, so okay, I'll not go here. There's no point. No, I can't select anything as such, so I'll just leave it blank as such. Now, just a quick question. So do you guys think we have created a hierarchy or something still is left? Because we just defined in the relation among the parent and child of the list. Do you think there's something yet to be done? Or we are good to move on, or the hierarchy is created? Just a random guess. It's
Uh,
fine.
it's fine.
Or to you, Rupali, what do you think? Is the list created? Have we done? Are we done with the hierarchy list creation, or something is pending yet? All right. So let me tell you what is pending and what needs to be done now. So till now, you have defined in the relationship among the list, and you went to the G3 states and you define like, okay, the parent of G3 states is country. But which child or which member of G3 states will fall under which member of G2 countries, that definition is not yet done. So what I mean, you don't know where these different states, where these has to roll up. That is, where the states like, your Darmstadt, Wuhan, Beijing, Colombo, Paris, Frankfurt, Rajasthan, Karnataka, London, where it
Oh,
has to roll up, right?
okay.
So what you need to do is maybe you need to go to the different members and assign a parent member of that. So
Okay.
I'll go to the G3 states. What I'll do is I'll assign a parent from G2 country, but this time rather my activity or my work is to assign the member as well. Okay,
Okay.
I will be assigning the members as well. All right, how to do that? Let's see.
Configure or something.
I'll tell you. All right, so there comes an option of a grid view. Okay,
Yeah.
now
Okay.
let me tell you what grid view is. So under a configure, you do a configuration of the entire list. Okay, under a grid view, you see the metadata of your members.
Okay.
So what metadata is? It's nothing but data about data.
Yes.
So you have the maybe G3 states lying with you. Now there could be different sets of another information that could be related with this G3 states. What information it could have possibly, if you just want to store the population, the ethnicity, the dimensions, the best resources, and all that further information, whatever is related with that. So all that you can observe under a grid view. So grid view is what? It's showing you a view about metadata of the members. Okay, so for instance, what we need to do is now you by default are going to be seeing the two options out here in a grid view. One is parent, another one thing is called code. So you have a parent here, you have a code here. So these are by default which exist into the grid view of any list. And what you need to do now is you need to define in the parent of these members. So you have a London. So what's the parent of London? So it's going to be UK. So how I'm doing that, I'm just going to the list. I'm just clicking on this drop down and I select Germany now. Similarly, I may, just copy out the name Germany, Control C on this Germany tab, and I'll just move to the Darmstadt and paste there. That's fine. So Wuhan, so it's China. So I'm just gonna be typing in C. I see an option of China popping in. I just select that. Similarly for Beijing, again I see select C. For Colombo, I can just either select S or I can just follow the drop down approach to anything. Anyway, you can do that, whatever you are comfortable with. And you need to assign in the parent one by one for these different type of list members. Okay, so there you assign the parent India and so on and on. All right, so currently you have just assigned in the parent of each and every states, and then you need to do a similar activity for your country as well. So you need to go to the grid view. You need to assign the parent of India. So what's that? APAC. Control C on the APAC. China. Control V. Sri Lanka. Control V. Okay, here EMEA. Control C on the EMEA. Germany under EMEA and France under EMEA. what you have done right now. So you took in the parent of G3 states, you assigned it to the G2 countries, you took in the members of G2 countries, and you assigned it to the G1 region. Now, there is a possible relation which we have just created between G1 region, G2 country, and G3 states, not only in the terms of list configuration, but also in the terms of adding in which members should be falling or rolling up under which parent. That's also we have taken care. Now, apart from the grid view which you see, there's another type of view which we are working on, and we saw like that's a tree view. So what is tree view is, so it helps us to understand and see this rolling up of data. So why this tree is forming like that? Because these leaves are nothing but it's falling under a parent. Okay, so Germany's leaves are Hesse, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt. And how these are? Because of the configurations that you have defined over here. So it just gives us a more pictorial representation, more sort of a tree view, and that's the reason why it's called a tree view. The advantage, if you see here, okay, the advantage if you see here, so if you see something under Germany, then pretty much you can conclude that's like you are going to be seeing the aggregation of Hesse, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt. And that's what the advantage of a hierarchy list creation is. Let me tell you in more simplified ways what I mean. Now, in Anaplan, the aggregation from lower to higher is possible. This I have mentioned before as well. So what happens, like, if you know the total sales in Hesse, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt, you automatically know, like, what's the total sales that is in Germany, right? Reiterating my question, reiterating the point once again. So if I know the total sales in Hesse, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt, I know the total sales in Germany. Yes, no,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
right? Rupali, you are aligned?
Yeah.
Okay. So what this hierarchy list is doing? It's helping you to see the aggregated data from the child to the parent level. So in those terms, like you just saw, the aggregated data of Hesse, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt, and you pretty much see it over here as well. All right, so again, if you know the data which is in London, the data is in what the data is going to be in UK. And if I just tell you vice versa, if you know the total sales in UK, Germany, and France, you know the total sales in EMEA, right? By just you will get
Yes.
that information. That's how the things are getting rolled. And
Yeah.
similarly, vice versa here as well. So the bottom line is, if you know the data for your child, you automatically know the data for your parents. And that's what the idea behind creating a hierarchy list is as well. So it gives you a much simplified aggregated view of your child. Mhm. So if I see the G3 states, so this is how the view looks like. If I go to G2 countries, so probably the child will be only G2 country here, and I see it aggregated at APAC and EMEA. So if I ask you like, hey, what's the data in APAC? So probably if you have the aggregations or the data of numbers or figures for India, China, and Sri Lanka, you will be in a position to tell me or conclude that like what's the data in, is it which is in APAC. Now you have something like G1 region as well, and you see like APAC and EMEA. So here, ideally, you can't tell what's the total sales in the world. Okay, directly. You need to aggregate, you need to add in APAC plus EMEA, and then you can tell me the figures, right? Because ideally,
Yeah.
if you see here, you have this, leaves under APAC, leaves under EMEA. So you tell me, like, okay, that's the whatever the summation or aggregation of these members are, that's the total data for an APAC. But similarly, here there is no leaf aggregation as such, right? You don't see a leaf. Correct. So here in this section, you don't see the leave something like this. So if it possibly something should have been here, where I would have clicked and I would have seen the possible aggregated data for my APAC or EMEA,
Right.
right? So what does that mean is you can't ideally have in a parent of region, and that's the reason why you don't see, but still what you want is like a possibility where you want to see the APAC and EMEAs getting aggregated. Now how to do that? You possibly need to check in over here, and there's an option of configure, and that's a top level item. So you need to define a top level item for the most upper level of list. That is your given region here in case, and the naming convention for that is all regions. You name it anything, that's fine, but I'm just telling you the standard naming practice, and I just click on apply now. Once I define the top level item, so the top level item comes in, and I see the further rolling of my APAC and EMEA over here. So where you need a top level item, wherever the list is at the highest level, there's no further parent of those lists. In those cases, you're going to be defining in the top level. And over here, we define in the all regions. And now I can very much see the aggregated data in the all region sections as well. And that's probably the APAC and EMEA out here. All right.
Okay.
So this is how the possibly hierarchy list gets created, and we just saw in how the members are supposed to be added. If you guys have any questions, any issues as such for this hierarchy list creation, we can just discuss this right now.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks for confirming. Rupali, how about you?
Yeah, Abhishek. No question as of now.
All right. So just telling you, like we were discussing in a very nutshell, like the advantage possibly I just told before as well. So hierarchy list possibly allows you to have an aggregated view of the underlying members. Okay, so you just see the aggregated datas at different levels, and that's what the utility of hierarchy list is. And whenever you have the scenarios like this, feel free to use this hierarchy list for your data creation. So tomorrow we are going to be starting off with another type of list, and that is called a flat list and a numbered list. Possibly, we'll discuss them into the next session. And what you guys need to do is, once you get a workspace, you need to create a hierarchy list at 4 different levels. So this list is currently at 3 levels, right? G1, G2, G3. You need to create under a 4 different levels. Okay, just try to create one hierarchy list. Let's see if you are able to do that and make all the relations. In case if you aren't, probably we can discuss this into our sessions. And just one note before I close the session for today, you would have noticed I uses the prefixes G1, G2, G3, but ideally the list was region, country, and states. So why in the world I use this G1, G2, G3? So there is a standard naming convention for your hierarchy list. Okay, there is a standard naming convention which you need to follow for your hierarchy list. And what it is, suppose I felt like it's geography, so I took the abbreviation G and I defined it 1, 2, 3. So the one being at the highest level, two being its child, three being its further child. So that's how the naming convention of a hierarchy list is, where you write depending upon the levels, you use 1, 2, 3, and you just prefix it with any another alphabet which you think of which would make sense. So for an example, it would have been product, category, and product. So I would have named it P1 product category and P2 products. If it was employee, department, and employees, I would have named E1 department, E2 employees, right? So it's helping you to understand like what is the parent of states. By just looking at this data itself, I can very well predict. I can tell you like, okay, since 3 and 2 is there, so G3 states will be child of G2 countries, G2 countries child of G1 region, and there's a possibility hierarchy which is going on in this specific areas. So I can just have a look. I can tell you. So this is the standard naming convention for a hierarchy list. There are different standard naming convention for the other type of list as well. Probably we are going to be unfolding it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So with that,
And
yeah.
Abhishek, what about other point? I mean, other columns are there also in the list. yeah, this one production data, selective.
We'll discuss everything, Rupali. Don't worry. We'll discuss
Okay.
everything. Okay. I mean, we're only just aligning. Okay. Step by step, we'll cover everything, and possibly there are these tabs as well. You don't need to worry. I'll just take them one by one.
Oh,
All right then. Thanks a lot, guys, for your time today. Have a great day, great night ahead. Let's catch up tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.
okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. See you.